You yourself are a part of the Godfather legend. How much of your public persona was built and created from your involvement in this film?
I couldn't take on Carlos' persona because he was a weak coward. I wouldn't want to be him. But I don't know. I mean, I was already hanging out with the Sinatras and Dean Martin and all of that. It just gave me a respect within that group that I wasn't just, you know, wannabe or something. I came from a big movie, which I had a big problem with Sinatra for about 2 years after the movie, because he sent out word that he didn't want his friends in it. And Vic Damone was supposed to play Johnny Fontaine. I don't know if you know that. And a lot of people were. And one day I get a call from Dorothy, his secretary, and he liked to be called the old man. And he said, the old man wants to talk to you. So I got on the phone, and he says, we're really good friends, aren't we? I says, yeah. He says, I heard you thinking about doing The Godfather. I said, yeah. He says, well, I'd really like you not to do it. You know, Vic Damone, I asked this one, they're not doing it. But, you know, Vic Damone was in a different category. He was already a singing star. I was just a guy hanging out. I was, you know, 26, 27 years of age. So I thought about it, and I said, okay, Frank, let me think about it. He says, no, I really want you not to do it, you know. So 2 or 3 days go by, and I call him back. And I said, I gave him back his same line. I said, we're really good friends, right? He said, yeah, you know that. I said, can I ask you a question? If I asked you not to do Here to Eternity, would you have done it? And he hung up on me. But later on, then, you know, it was like 2 years he didn't talk to me at all. But he's my Gumbati. He's my son Luciano's godfather. So, you know, till he died, we remained friends. We had only one problem. It was over Marilyn Monroe many years later. But,
Would you like to elaborate? Would you like to elaborate on your problem with Marilyn Monroe?
Well, yeah, they kidnapped Marilyn. Sam Giancana, most people don't know that. Sam Giancana, who was the head of the Chicago family, Momo Giancana, was right after the election of Kennedy, and he was very disturbed with Frank and his Washington buddy, as he used to call him. And so he put a contract on Frank. He was going to kill Frank, because Frank was the guy, the messenger between them. And the mob was promised, if Jack became president because of Joe the father, through Costello and getting all the union votes, the longshoremen, the Teamsters, and the culinary vote, which Chicago controlled, and New Orleans and New York controlled the longshoreman vote and the Teamster vote out of Kansas City. And their reward would be that they would get Cuba back. So it was a win-win, because the government would get rid of the mafia. They'd go back to what Batista gave them in Cuba, and everybody was happy. Bobby, which most people don't realize, was always jealous of his brother John. So he convinced John to call off the airstrike of the Bay of Pigs. So that never happened. So now he's the guy that became president. He makes his brother attorney general, and he's going after all the people that got him in office. So they were going to try to do the same thing they did with J. Edgar Hoover. Many years ago, they entrapped J. Edgar Hoover, and he was a cross-dresser. And so they had all the pictures of him in Chicago Hotel with a guy. And they used to threaten him. That's why anything you read about J. Edgar Hoover, he always denounced that there was a mafia and organized crime. There was no such thing. So they were going to try to do the same thing with the Kennedy brothers. So they called Joe Kennedy to meet at Cal Neva to discuss their problems and bring John and Bobby with him. Well, Bobby went. He never fell for the trap. They got Marilyn Monroe and drugged her and kept her in Bungalow 57. And they were going to try to get Bobby and John to have another romance with her on camera this time. So then they had him. And then 7 days later, obviously, we know that, you know, Bobby had her kidnapped and she was dead because she knew too much. As they talked about pillow talk. I don't know if you heard about that. It's pretty heavy. So that was my problem with Sinatra, because I couldn't believe he would do this to her. But I didn't realize that, you know, they were going to kill him if he didn't.